So this is the first part of the first session for Shai Spring Regional 2019. We're going to do the first two sources. Bereshis, Parak Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Vav and Chaf Zayin. Vayomer Elokim. And Hashem said, Na'asa Adam et Salmenu Kidmusenu, let us make man in our image, in our form. V'yirdu b'dgas hayam, he will go down over the fish in the sea, v'of hashamayim, and the birds of the heaven, v'behema, and then the animals of v'chol haaretz, and all the land, v'chol haremes haromes al haaretz, and all the creeping things that creep on the earth, or we like to call them the creepy crawlies. V'yivra Elokim es ha'adam b'tzalmo, and Hashem created man in his image, b'tzalmo Elokim bara oso, in the image of Hashem he created him, zachar nekiva bara oso, male and female he created them. So the two questions that will get us started on thinking about what this means is, first of all, what does it mean to be created in Hashem's image? Right? The Torah is making a point of telling us that we're created in Hashem's image. That apparently is a very important point. But what does it mean? What does it mean to be created in Hashem's image? And another question that we can start wondering about is, what might we infer from the fact that the Torah shares this information with us? The Torah is very specific about the creation of mankind. By other creations, as Hashem says, Vayomer Elokim yihi or, Hashem said, let there be light, Vayihi or, and there was light. So Hashem over here says, let's make him the image of Hashem, as being very specific that there's something here. So why is it? What is going on here? And that's something that's going to come up later in the session as well. There's a medrash that at least to start whetting our appetite and appreciating what this means, and that's in Bereshis Rabbah, Parak Ches, Parshat Yud, chapter 8-10. Rabbi Hoshea says, B'shah shebara Kadosh Baruch Hu Adam Harishon, at the time that Hashem created Adam Harishon, Tol Malachi Hasharis, the Malachi Hasharis made a mistake, Ubikshu Lomar Lefan of Kadosh. They wanted to say holy to Hashem, the Kadosh, the Kedusha that we say every day. We talk about how the Malachim, millions upon millions of Malachim that praise Hashem every day. So they say Kadosh, they saw Adam, and they made a mistake. They didn't know, now who's Hashem? Who's Hashem? Who's Adam? This being over here looks like the divine to us. The point of the matter seems to be that when we talk about being the image of Hashem, it's very, very, very significant. It's a very meaningful proclamation, to the point that the Malachim themselves, when all they see is spirituality, and they look at this being that was just created, and they say, "Oh wait, is this Hashem? Should we be saying Kadosh here?" That was what the Medrash says. So it gives us, at least without specifically defining what Tzelem Elokim means, what being in the image of Hashem means, but we do understand that there's something very, very, very special and significant about it. The Alter of Slabodka, Rabbi Nosson Tzvi Finkel, explains that the concept of Tzelem Elokim is that every single facet of a human being has godly wisdom invested in it. Every facet, meaning their hands, their eyes, their nose, their brain, legs, every single part of the physical part of a human being has godly wisdom invested in it, to the extent that when we see the physical form of a person with our eyes, we are in reality witnessing a reality of pure spirituality and divine wisdom. So the reality is that the form and image of Hashem himself exists within each person, even to the extent that the Medrash above it describes it. The Malachim looked and they wanted to say Shira. They wanted to say Kadosh, They see this Adam, everything about Adam, the way the Malachim understood it, the way that they saw it, their spiritual perception said, we should be saying Kadosh. One of, if not the central themes that Rabbi Finkel Zatzal taught his students was the greatness of every human being. This idea galvanized and inspired those students to dig deep into themselves and discover their true greatness. Perhaps that is a large reason that it was his students who were some of the greatest Torah figures and who would play a large role in shaping world religious Jewry during the 20th century. It's said, I've heard this said over, that if we were to treat great people with the same care and respect that Rabbi Finkel treated even very lowly people, we'd be in very good shape. He saw every single person as being created in the image of Hashem. This was a godly being. So he would treat even the non-Jews, even and the lowly people around them. If we would treat great people, we all know we see someone who we're intimidated by or we're impressed by. Oh, we want to just do things for them. That's how Rabbi Finkel would relate to even a common person. In other words, we have traits infused within us that are akin to Hashem's traits because we were formed in His image. So that is the first part of the session material. And I think that there's a lot to discuss here. If you want to, ask, you can speak to the people in your sessions about what does this mean to you? How do you relate to this? Obviously, I think it's a good starting point for discussion. The Alter of Slobodka's Talmidim are names that you probably heard of. One is my Rebbe's Rebbe, Rabbi David Leibowitz, Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, Rabbi Yitzchak Hutner, Rabbi Aaron Kotler, Rabbi Yitzchak Ruderman. Some of the major Rosh Yeshivas, there are more that I'm not thinking of right at the moment, but they're major, the Gedolim of the last generation. And I think that a large part of it was because he built up every single person so much. Look at your potential. Look at who you are. What do you think you can accomplish by that? It's a very, very empowering idea.